What's the point of prayer? What's the power of prayer? Some of you are new to Christianity. You struggle in prayer. Some of you have been Christians a long time. You struggle in prayer. Here's a beautiful thing about prayer that Luke's trying to emphasize here. There's a few things about it. First, many of us struggle with prayer, and I think part of the reason is because you need to think about how you view prayer. What is it for? What's the end goal? What is it? Tim Keller, in his book on prayer, talks about how there's basically two ways to think about prayer. Some of you exist in the first way, some of you exist in the second way. The first way to think about it is Christian mysticism prayer, which basically says prayer is an end in itself. Prayer, the point of prayer is intimacy with God. The point of prayer is contemplation of his being. And so I'm going to get close to God. I'm going to pray for a long time. I'm going to be silent. I'm going to do all these, I'm going to go in the wilderness for a while. I'm going to listen to God. That's the point of that. There's that concept of prayer. Christian mysticism is what Keller calls it. Then there's what Keller calls kingdom prayer. Scholar by the name of Donald Blesch argues that prayer is more kingdom prayer. It's about tasks and building the church and God, bring your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. That over here, this is just kind of an end in itself. It's kind of selfish, Blesch says. This is selfish because it's just saying, oh, I'm going to contemplate his being. And Blesch says, no, it's about obedience to his will, not contemplation of his being. All right, so there's a distinction. And so some of you fit into, now, of course, I'm going to argue that it's both of these things, and they're both beautiful, and they're both in the epistles, and they're both in the Psalms, and they're both in the Proverbs, and they're both in the Gospels when you look at Jesus. Some of you fit into the mysticism box, right? You love that, man. You love the thought of going out in the forest and like sitting there for a week and listening to God. Now, when I have to confess something to you, I'm not like that. And so I began to think I was less righteous than other people because I'm not wired, first off, to be in a forest ever, at all, by myself, at all. So I would die out there. If I went out, even local, like Langley, Abbotsford, something, if there's some trees around, I wouldn't survive very long. And it's not how I'm wired. I'm wired to be like, yeah, I'm going to pray for a while, but then I want to do something. I want to write a screenplay or go shoot a film that's going to bring glory to God, like something like that's going to be tangible and bring the kingdom and raise up some leaders and do stuff like that. All right, that's kind of how I'm wired. So the Christian mysticism thing, sometimes I don't get it. And then there's people over here who do look at the mystics and they think, well, but there's some of you who this is your world. You love this. But then there's the people who are like, man, I want to build the kingdom. I want to reach my neighbors. I want to, and this is your heart. So my hint, my helpful, hopefully my helpful hint to you is exist in both of these worlds, but do the one on the day and at the moment that you feel you're being called to. Don't try to push against it. So there's days where I'll get up and hit the prayer chair before I go out, and I'm feeling kingdom prayers, man. And I start to feel guilty that I'm not doing contemplation of his being stuff. And you got to be freed up to go, man. Okay, this is going to be 20 minutes of kingdom, man. Protect my family, build the church, save people, whatever. And then there's going to be another day where I'm not really feeling those prayers, and now I just want to sit and thank him. And all right, just do that rhythm and get into both of those because neither of them are sin. Right? Both of them have this reflection, and so these people are people of prayer. Some of you find it difficult to become a person of prayer because you're busy and you don't know if someone's tweeting about you. And what if my friend posts a picture on Instagram of their pizza? I need to go make sure I see it. It's a waste of time. It's a gong show.